Yes, everyone, welcome back. Stephen Howson. Going to do a little bit of rival watch tonight. Just what is going on with Spurs? Why are they getting so funky and giddy all of a sudden? And is it likely to affect us? Now, they've agreed to sign Kudus from West Ham for 55 million. That's their first major transfer under Thomas Frank. Kudus obviously got 13 goals and 9 assists for West Ham. Had a bit of a decent season, especially against the bigger teams, it seems, last season. It's also the first direct move between them since Scott Parker. Kudus obviously can play in the 10, can play on the right. Went for a hell of a lot less than his £85 million release clause. And obviously wanted to go and play Champions League football with Spurs. Now, what's interesting for us is that Spurs are also supposedly looking at Wissa from Brentford, which could affect what goes on with MBEUMO, because Brentford don't want to sell both of those players in one window, as you can rightly understand. They are also looking potentially at Gibbs-White. And again, we're talking 50-60 million supposedly for both of these each. So Spurs aren't messing around. They're really not messing around whatsoever. Frank is obviously trying to get into town and do bits. And it looks like it might have half a chance of us being affected by this as it comes in. Obviously, Bryan MBEUMO's still not gone through. We've had 2 bids canned so far. But United are supposedly putting a 3rd bid in, see if we can get him over the line ahead of July 22nd before we go off on pre-season. Yaz says, don't see Wissa going Spurs. KS Pat says, we are truly a bigger banter team than Spurs now. Well, let's just see. Ben says, Steve, just seen the news that Real have bought Alvaro for 50 million, and we have first say with a 17 million pound buyback. So why the hell are we not buying him back and selling him to Real ourselves for some cash? Well, you don't just automatically do that, and the player would have to agree to come to United. And why would he agree to come to United only to go to Real Madrid on the backside of that? Yeah, I don't think it's quite as simple as that. Hugh says he's Morgan Gibbs-White not a release clause too. I'm not aware of that if he is, actually, so we'll see. John says, evening Steve, does Spurs movement in the market mean the end of Maddison? It could do. It absolutely could do, yeah. Insane Gamer says, get Amorim and his agent's gone. Right, mate, it's too fucking warm for this shit early doors, right? I know we're going to descend into the madness of the chat tonight, but come on, mate. Like, what do you think Amorim could have done since, when did he come in? November? Carry on, I'll wait. Fucking Christ. Sam says, don't reckon Spurs will get MBEUMO. No, they're not going for MBEUMO. Wissa, which can affect us, obviously. 20 Legend says, we need a lot more than MBEUMO. Got to start moving. Yeah. Hugh says, I believe they triggered a 60 million release clause. If that's the case, then that's the case. Sweet, yep. United Forever says, I wouldn't be opposed to not getting MBEUMO, making Amad and Cunha the 10s, and then spend that money on a striker. You probably still need a right wing back. I mean, you might arguably still need a right wing back regardless anyway. Ross says, all I want is MBEUMO deal done, and then that's the forward line sorted. Yes, we need a new striker, but I think it's better having 2 Premier League proven forwards in than 1. I would argue the opposite, to be honest. I would argue that a centre forward is more important than MBEUMO. It's just a case of that we've gone down the line with MBEUMO and we are closer to getting him done than we are to getting a striker done. So you feel like it's more urgent, but I still think a number 9 is way more urgent than MBEUMO coming in. I think it looks like it's a closer deal. Who that number 9 is, I honestly couldn't fucking tell you, to be honest. Like, it doesn't look like there's a lot popping off, to be honest. Limited Edition 74 says, how much do we get in sell-on fees for Alvaro? Not a lot. Stephen says, we've currently got 9 possible number 10s in the first team squad, including the 4 we're trying to bin off. We've also got another 4 in the 18s. Do we need him? I would like him. I think he levels up what we're doing, but I think you make a great point. like as I said, the striker for me is more important. But obviously we want him. That I think is going to be one of those scenarios where we still need that right wing back, and maybe Ahmad gets turned into the right wing back for this one. Gavin says we sold Alvaro to get Malacia and Reguilon. Alvaro didn't make sense at the time. I remember doing content on him saying, "Wow, like look at what he's just done at Preston." You know my thoughts. If you don't, I like it. Is the top and bottom of it. That's my thoughts on the Championship as a league. I like it. I rate it. 1 second. I don't know if that's still up. My OBS window just disappeared, and I might have shit it a little bit. Jimmy says, Alvaro not good enough for United, but he's going to Madrid for fuck's sake. Yep, that's generally how it works, isn't it? Yeah, he was a mistake early doors. Emmett says, is it stupid to buy Alvaro back? It's not stupid, it's just not going to happen. Philip says, what do I think about Garnacho being let in for pre-season? You got to let him in. He's still an employee of the club. Even if we've said to him, we want you to find a new club. That's that, innit? And then Rob says, what's this bollocks about Garnacho being allowed back into training? It was always going to happen, I think. 1 second. Big Chef says, so Rashford was told to... Oh, it's gone. Lynch says, officially Tell is Thomas Frank's first signing. Is it? Saz says, not going to lie, Spurs are cooking. Yaz says, even though we finished 15th, I think Cunha and MBEUMO as our only two major signings is enough to push us to Europa. Still think we need a striker. I really do think we need a striker. Unsportsmanlike says, anyone remembers Zidane Iqbal? What happened to that kid? He went to Utrecht. Peter says, we desperately need to strengthen the midfield, get Bruno back in the 10. I'm not sure he's going to start in the 10. Like, it's not really the same sort of number 10 that he plays in a 4-2-3-1. It's, it's a form. I still don't know enough about the formation, to be honest. Like, I think I know what we need in midfield, but that's because I'm thinking about it from a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 sort of scenario. Whereas you might not need that for sure, because you get different things out of them three centre halves, and obviously your fullbacks, wing backs become part of your midfield or part of your attack, or both. I'm still learning about this formation to understand what it's all about. Could we hijack Gyökeres, or has that ship sailed? I don't know if we've ever... Like, Andy Mitten said United hadn't been talking about Gyökeres when he was at Carrington or doing the rounds at Carrington. I think you've got to believe that. 1993 Swim fan says, still I'm in the process of getting my taxi license. I failed my theory test and studied my ass off for the second attempt, memorising all the pointless data, and got 97 out of 100. Well played. Stephen says, we let PK go uncoped. I'm sure we can deal with Alvaro going to Madrid. I don't necessarily think Alvaro is the worst mistake this club's ever going to make in what is a long list of mistakes. I think it's just symptomatic of some of the shit show that's going on when you see players that we've got cooking all over the place. Sky Viking says, I have a 48-hour layover in Manchester at the end of the month. First time. What should I do? It depends what you like, really, doesn't it? I don't know. Genuinely, like, I do get asked this a lot, and I don't want to feel like I'm fobbing you off here, but I don't know. I don't treat Manchester like a tourist would treat it. So I don't know what would be good to see as a tourist. The things that a tourist might want to do, I maybe wouldn't want to even mess with. Someone says, where's Diesel? Right there. Never more than 2 feet away from me when I'm in the house. Yeah, what would I do? What would you do as a tourist in Manchester? Depends what you want to do. Get on it, or go see some stuff. It depends what you're going to do. If you've not been on the Old Trafford tour, do that. Wilfred says, we have no money if we don't sell. We cannot get any new signings. I think that is such a big thing. Such a big thing. Ornstein says, Forrester in for Wissa. I wonder if that's going to be... again, an issue. If Wissa goes, and maybe it's just Brentford putting the prices right. Maybe it's Brentford putting a bit of urgency on United, saying, well, we're only going to sell one. James says, how old is Diesel now? He is almost 17. He's 17 in 5 weeks. Avoid Piccadilly Gardens is good advice. That is good advice. Yeah, don't go Piccadilly Gardens. And Piccadilly Gardens needs rebranding, doesn't it? It might as well be called the Piccadilly Wall. And it's actually probably more dystopian, sadder, and dangerous than the Berlin Wall was at the height of the Cold War. Piccadilly Gardens is really overselling whatever that area of Piccadilly's got going on at the moment, hasn't it? My thoughts on Vlahovic, I'd go with him. To be honest, I think listen, the bar is so fucking low with Rasmus Højlund that there's like I pissed off a lot of people this week by saying I think Calvert-Lewin's better than him. People are like, well, he's injury prone. Yeah, still better than Højlund. I said what I said. Ridwan says, if Forest get Wissa, we'll mess this deal up and won't be able to buy MBEUMO as the last for too much. It's our fault. We're slow bastards. It is, but I got to have a little bit of sympathy for the club in a way here of like, we've been getting rinsed for so long. We've been so bad at selling for so long that United have got a reputation in the market of being a soft touch. And you have to change that reputation somehow. Or you just continue to get rinsed. Unfortunately, there's going to be a time where you're like, maybe we now need to just pay it. But then you end up getting in that rhythm all the time then. Oh, we'll just pay it just this once. And you pay it every fucking time. Coach Zach says, how are they rumoured to be in for Wharton? Spurs on a blinder. I think Spurs have just found a credit card. Marie says there's a book you should read called Coaching Mental Toughness by Dan Gable. Dan Gable, the wrestler. That would be a good book, actually. Yeah, I would have a look at that. James says Jay's interview with Sean was top-notch, huge insight for us ordinary people. They've just released another hour-long day in a life of an SAS operator on GBRS as well. I think they shot that as I left. Yeah, so I didn't get to see that. I didn't get to see that being filmed. I'm pretty sure it was filmed with my camera because I left my cameras there. I brought my cameras down for him to film with. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was shot on my FX3, but I'd left by then. It was Calvin, the absolute wizard, that had done it. If you've not seen that. But yeah, Jay on the Sean Ryan Show has gone down sensationally, hasn't it? He's done well. He's done 1 million views now in a week. Paulie says the amount of fans saying just pay the millions and then giving out about how much we spend on players is mental. It is what it is, yeah. Has my weight loss helped motivate Paddock players? I couldn't answer that. I don't get as many funny looks as I would do when we're trying to smash them in pre-season, though. And they know when I'm saying I'm fucking doing this, then they got to up the game a little bit. I did want to be running it with them, but I'm not allowed to run until tomorrow. Tomorrow's gym session is a run walk, which is the first time since doing the Manchester 10K that I'm allowed to do a run. So I am quite looking forward to that, actually. Sam says Mateta is the one, monster of a man, cult hero status easy. I think Mateta would be fantastic for us, and it seems like he's going for a pretty straightforward price. Maurice Marshall says he has 2 books about coaching that I've used for coaching wrestling and football. I will check him out, definitely. Carl says it feels like the club have sidestepped their plans for a striker. Maybe we know European football. I think we can get through next season with what we have. That's fucking nuts, though, isn't it? I don't know how they think we can get through with what we have. Coop says, with Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony, we have 800 grand a week's worth of wages in reserves. Can't just be continue that legacy of terrible business. Need to be smarter. We do. Ash says, the MBEUMO deal is taking way too long. Got a feeling it might not happen. If it doesn't, should we move for Eze? But what's Eze going to cost? And is that easier? Brian says, you reckon if we shift the 5 unwanted, we have a decent sized pot going into Jan? Who the fuck knows? Are we waiting on the money from Alvaro and Alanga? Fucking hell, I hope not. We're getting like a tickle from that. Peter says, how's the calf holding up? I've just been doing like prehab, rehab, loads of mobility. I do physio every week. I've just been trying to get it ready to go. We will see. Disco Stew says, has my weight loss inspired the Cheshire League to improve their ability to create a reasonable fixture list for 25-26? Clearly fucking not. Clearly fucking not, because I've just been informed tonight that we've got midweek games in August. Our season starts next Saturday. A week on Saturday, right? Actually, it's a bit longer than that. The fucking 26th, anyway, is when it starts. So 2 weeks, essentially, our season starts, which is a fucking disgrace. And then they're telling us there's going to be midweek games in August. Why? We have a 3G fucking pitch, as does most of our league. They put us on grass in January and December. Them games get fucking called off. We will go through a month in the season without a league game. It always happens. The league is finished by fucking early April, and that's even with teams crying off against us. It's an absolute fucking joke. Pissed off of it. And I'm missing the first 3 fucking games, at least, because I'll be in America with United. Fuming. How would I rate how we've operated this summer? Fucking badly, wouldn't you? Marie says we need to sign Mateta so we can get the best chant. Yeah, Kuna and Mateta, it writes itself. It's shit and it's cringe, but I'm here for it at the same time. What do you reckon to Napoli's president's comments about Garnacho? I have not seen Napoli's comments about Garnacho. Please share them with the group. Am I coming to New York City? Yes. Is anyone closer to actually leaving? Doesn't fucking feel like it, does it? Could you not play Watkins, Cunha and Xerxes as a 9 and 10 and then spend the money across a right wing back and a centre mid? The problem with that is Watkins doesn't play for us. So you can't play Watkins because he doesn't play for us. Am I going to America? I should not forget to erase all my political suspicious content on your phone. You might get denied entry. 1, I don't have any political or suspicious content on my phone. And 2, I think that's for people getting visas. I think it's for students that are getting visas. Peter says, good stuff. Keeps injury away. Defo, see you in the Dublin Marathon soon. Then a pint of the Black Gold after. I am in Dublin in August for the Oasis gig. Dubliners, what is the move? What's the locals guide itinerary for Dublin? What's the boozer we defo should not be going in beforehand because it'll be rammed? What's the move for Dublin? Tyler says the problem with starting non-United players for United is that they don't play for United, which is against the rules. That's literally the whole kind of gist of the rule, isn't it? Yeah, that's a problem. Rob says, I'm doing your 30-day Stairmaster challenge for my weight loss journey and I hate my life. It's hard. It's nuts, innit, how difficult it is. CLJ says, on a side note, J. Cal's story is absolutely nuts. Yeah, it was fucking nuts. Have I dusted off my bucket hat for Oasis? I don't know if I'm going to wear a bucket hat or not. I mean, I've got more of a boonie here. I could rock a boonie. Rock the boonie. It's a long bucket hat. Or we can go with a slightly more tailored bucket hat. We'll go with that one. Or there's another one here somewhere. We can go with the tailored jungle hat. We can rock with the tailored jungle hat. We can go with that. It's a little bit more on operations rather than ducking pints of piss, isn't it? Stay away from Temple Bar. Yeah, that was always going to be the move, wasn't it? I think, just staying away from Temple Bar. If I end up in the gym with Hoyland, you've got to film it. I don't believe we're in the Players' Hotel this year when we're away. Insane Gamer says we will struggle again if we don't sign 2 starting midfielders. We are not signing 2 starting midfielders. We might not even sign fucking 1. Now, Billy's president has come out and said bullshit. He's not done an interview or spoke about Garnacho. Oh, okay, well, that's that then. Connor says hitting legs. Once I'm out of work in an hour, what should I go too heavy on today? Joe, I was watching a young gentleman today in the gym. Not in a creepy way. Although he might have found it like that. I don't know. I have no idea what my resting fucking psycho face looks like. So maybe I was giving him some of that. Maybe I don't know. But I noticed that he was doing biceps and chest, and he was doing all of the really weird ones, so like where you press a plate and do that, and then as he was doing his bicep curls, he was doing like these really weird sideways ones. And I just thought, he's majoring in the minors here. Like he's really focusing on those little 1% things, but not doing any of the major like 80-20 stuff that just fucking do bench press and curls like everybody. Like, stop fucking about, mate. So to answer your question, what should I go too heavy on? Just fucking do squats and get your ass low. Just fucking top and bottom of it, innit? Alan says, get a bag of cans and sit on the canal place will be rocking. That might be the move, mate. That might be the move. Yeah. 64 Ahmed says, what's the Stairmaster challenge I want in? 15 minutes every day, 30 days. Just get on the Stairmaster. That's it. Pretty straightforward. Do I not miss the days when the first time I hear about a transfer is in the paper or teletext? Yep. I do. But it is what it is. Ronan says, man's pulling buckets, hats out. Yeah, we're not done, you know. I can do more. We can do more. How many more do you want to do? How many bucket hats you got in your arsenal, eh? There's always room for more. Are we driving the East Coast or flying? I believe we're flying. Josh says, I just want to wake up from a deep sleep to a here we go with 5 players and Sancho gone. Is that too much to ask? Yeah. I think just fucking selling Sancho might be too much to fucking ask at this rate, mate, to be honest. Ross says, Stephen missed the start of the stream. How are you so calm? Are we all going to riot about this shit transfer window or not? Have I got a separate house just for all my shoes? Don't you sound like fucking Janine. Janine's trying to make me go on a 1-in, 1-out game on shoes at the moment, which I am resisting hard. We're not doing that. Titus says, with all the signings we are getting linked with, what position do I think we'll end up next year? Well, the ones that we're getting linked with are the ones we'll actually sign, because those two things don't live on the same street. Gurpeat says, surely a waterproof / piss-proof hat would be better. I don't think I could reach them ones from here. But I do have one. I have got a Gore-Tex hat as well. I got a whole box of hats over there too. I'm just wondering if I can... It's underneath another box that are all stacked up. It'll cause a right shit show if I pull it out. Joe says, have you or can you do a vid on how transfers actually work? United had me thinking what's going on is it's not like haggling at a car boot and can be done in one conversation over weeks. Right. Yes. However, no, because that is what United do. United seem to, like, I can only presume, bosh a carrier pigeon with a fucking, with a note on it saying 62.5 mil, and then off to Brentford, and they fuck about, and then it comes back, and then they say no, because nothing else makes sense, really, does it? How else are we doing it? Chef says, imagine a world where we got back to being a well-run club out of debt and we could actually make these signings without the Argos card. It's nuts, isn't it? Lewis says, I'll be going over New York for the West Ham game. Any meetups happening whilst there for the game? Each of the cities that we're in has got at least 2 meetups that the club have organised in conjunction with the local supporters clubs, which we will be, I think we've not agreed to do all of them, but I think we will be involved at some of them. Once it's firmed up, as in we've got the actual schedule off United about where they want us and all the rest of that sort of stuff, we will pass it on and put it all over socials and that. So if you want to come and hang out, we'll be doing that. They're typically the ones the day before a game, off the top of my head. Definitely in New York, definitely in Chicago, and definitely in Atlanta, as far as I'm aware just now. Andy Jarvis says it's either going to be a mad final few weeks of the market or an absolute dud. You know which one it's going to be. David says, let's not pretend the entire recruitment team is there chilling whilst waiting for when Bomo will say yes or no. We're definitely looking at other targets. I hope so. R. Jack says, been on a carb-free diet since Monday. Already dropped a shitload of water weight. Aims to do this for 3 weeks. Wouldn't recommend. Already tore my bicep today. Thought I might put an extra plate on. Steve says, do I think MBEUMO might be the last signing and Amarin's been told to take the pick of the kids? Well, I hope not. AR says, have I seen the interview with Juan Mata where he said United wanted to make him wait to sign because they wanted him to arrive by helicopter and there was a weaker storm so he couldn't fly? I'm hoping that was an Ed Woodward era thing, and that we're not going to be doing that anymore. Dan Holiday says, I love the Harry Redknapp, Barry Fry transfer negotiations. One of the best stories ever, by the way, that on the Magic Sponge podcast. Would Hoyland score 30 goals for Paddock? As much as I think he's absolute dog shit, yeah. Probably before the end of the month. I don't think people fully understand how good Premier League footballers are. Dan says, just watch the Sean Ryan episode with Jay. Unbelievable. Yeah, the response has been sensational. John says, what odds am I giving Oasis that they don't make the end of the tour? I keep sort of semi-jokingly like, there's enough time for them before the Dublin one, which I think is the 17th of August, for it to go tits up, isn't there? I'm almost tempted to try and get a ticket for tomorrow night. I was at the last one at Eaton Park, and I kind of think, I wouldn't mind fucking going to that one, you know. Emmett says, I'm seeing Oasis the weekend before in Edinburgh. What should I be expecting? How do I break it to my American girlfriend? Tell her that you'll elbow drop her if she says Shazams any of the songs. The playlist, no matter what you listen to, right, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music, because I was on both this morning, I fucking danced to the gym and nearly sprinted to the gym this morning at fucking 5:45. Just absolutely charged up with, I decided to put the Oasis set list on and just listen to that throughout my gym workout today. And I was like, Jesus Christ, I feel 14 again, man. I'm absolutely flying here, loving it. What should you expect? From what I've seen, they're fucking delivering. From what I've seen from people that have shared videos, from the comments coming out from people, they've not just taken the money and ran. They've absolutely turned up, ready to blast the fucking roof off it. Heaton Park was class. Now, I don't think it's any coincidence that you see in all of the 90s Oasis songs. I'm not sure what the oldest song is. Is Little by Little? I don't know if Little by Little was on. Little by Little might be like the oldest or the latest song that they've released. It's all Definitely Maybe, Morning Glory, and a little bit of Be Here Now. That's basically what their set list is, and it's rocking the fucking gaff. I know Noel doesn't like Be Here Now. I think it's a fucking mega album, to be honest with you. Peter says, are we doing the walk away from the stall? We are haggling, looking over the shoulder, see if the dodgy chap is shouting after us. Possibly. Joe says, are people that just don't like Oasis weird or what? No, I think those that grew up in America, Oasis didn't really land in America because a lot of their press coverage, they didn't know where to put them. They didn't understand the humour and the way they spoke about each other and themselves. And also some of their live gigs were an absolute car crash. So I genuinely think what the magic of Oasis is it spoke to and about British culture in the 90s. And it absolutely resonated. And I think if you was part of that era, you absolutely get it. And if you're not, then I don't think you can't get it. I think you absolutely can get it and appreciate it for the music. But I think if it doesn't speak to you, then it doesn't speak to you. And that's fine. You know, music is only going to, like, music, especially it's 30 years old, a lot of that music. If you didn't catch it at a certain point in your life, I think finding it now might be really difficult for you to fall in love with it. I could be wrong, but that's my thought on it. Tyler says, Oasis landed in America, but it was the music that landed, not the personalities. I could get that. What's my take on Oasis when they spout about City at the gigs? Yeah, you got to ignore it, haven't you? And I believe they try and make everyone do the Poznan at the moment, which I will not be partaking in. You got to remember, Boneheads are fucking red, though, so, you know. Peter says, Gutted Cheese Electric's not on the playlist. It is. Because I was literally fucking hot stepping to that shit this morning. The set list has follows. They come out to fucking In the Bushes, and then it's Hello, Acquiesce, Morning Glory, some might say Bring It On Down, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Fade Away, Supersonic, Roll With It, Talk Tonight, Half the World Away, Little by Little, Do You Know What I Mean, Stand By Me, Cast No Shadow, Slide Away, Whatever, Live Forever, Rock and Roll Star, Master Plan, Don't Look Back in Anger, Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova. No, it's not on there. Shit, my bad. Mine must have jibbed off onto just random then. Oh, yeah. All right, well, yeah, I was literally dancing. That was the song I was dancing to this morning. Luvanish says, not on topic, I bought a Paddock jersey 10 months ago and still haven't got them. Tried contacting the team, but no look there. What are you emailing? There's a literal support desk. Drop a message on Instagram. That'll get answered. I mean, the other one should be getting answered anyway. I can only assume that you've emailed the wrong fucking thingies, mate. But yeah, they would all have been sent out. Everything gets sent out. Yeah, message them on Instagram and see what happens with that. Depends where you are. If you're in Ireland, they've been getting screwed because of the customs. I'm sure they get fed up playing Wonderwall. Maybe. Artalis says top 5 rums to recommend. Diplomatico is the number one. It's the GOAT. It's not to be fucked with. It is the greatest of all time. Salford is number 2. It's excellent. Zacapa is right in the mix. I got a saucy little Mount Gay down here, 1703. That's not been opened yet. I was saving it for a special occasion, then I forgot. Plantation's very good. I really, really, really like Bacardi Ocho, spiced. Have I been to Glasgow? Not for a few years, but yes. If I get a chance to do a stadium tour of Croke Park and check out the history of the place. I do know Croke Park has a sensational history. Will the tour be open because of the gigs being there? Or what? How's that going to work? I'm just having a look when our flights are, because I think we fly fairly early the next morning. If I had to go 3 rounds with any content creator, who would I choose? How do I put this without sounding like a knob? There isn't a content creator out there that I wouldn't be bothered about getting in a ring with. None of them fucking worry me in the slightest. And especially in my weight class. There's not a fucking content creator out there that I wouldn't fancy my chances against. Doesn't mean I'll necessarily win, but I certainly wouldn't be fucking scared of anyone. Content creator-wise, especially. Richard Porter says, Radio X Oasis channel is just epic. That's currently the station in my car. Can't wait for the 26th at Wembley. SRH says, as a Kappa, and it's not even close. A Kappa's mega. Am I still using a Whoop? If so, which subscribes am I on? I've not upgraded yet. I will be doing, but I just haven't yet. I don't know why. I couldn't necessarily tell you why. Linda says, my children surprised me and my hubby for tickets for the concert tomorrow for our 52nd wedding anniversary. Mate, that's legendary. Well played. 52 years. Well done. I mean, presuming you got married at 18, that's incredible, isn't it? I mean, you might not have got married at 18. You might have been older, but that's still mega. John says, you have of being pissed on White Lightning in the park as a teenager. That happened, for sure. Anthony says, music holds memories and Oasis hold more than any other band for me. Yeah, I mean, I was listening to... I can't remember which one it was. There was a song I was listening today and it literally took me back to playing a specific like fighter pilot video game on a PC when I was like 12. Like hyper specific day of playing a video game. It was mad. Richard Ashcroft's on tour of them. Yes, he is. Dan says, Americans never understanding British humour is always adorable. They're the most literal motherfuckers out there, bless. What's my take on the way we've done it, haven't we? Not many bands have the bangers that would be Oasis B. Oasis B-sides are a joke, aren't they? Like, what have we just said there? Columbia isn't on the set list. She's Electric, clearly, isn't on the set list. Like, who could not put those songs on a set list and it still be as sensational as it is? Tyler says, very jealous you're going to see an Oasis. What a show it's going to be. Excited. Yeah, I mean, and I'm excited to go with my wife as well. You know, it's not the sort of gig where she's just coming along because we're doing this. Like, she's an Oasis fan. We was at an Oasis gig 2009 together. You know, I'm here for it. Sky Viking says, on that layover, going to grab a bottle of Salford. Which one is the best? The beige bottle. It's just the basic spiced rum that they do. It's fantastic. Grill says Chael Sonnen. Now, here's the thing. Chael Sonnen is not an influencer. He is a fucking killer, right? So let's have it right. How likely are you to wake up to beautiful... Oh, we've already done that, haven't we? Chris says, seen your boy J. Cal shooting on GBRS. Scarily elite. Yeah, Jay's intense, man, but he gets away with it in a... I don't know. There's a way that he gets away with it. I did a week away shooting with him last year. When that little shooting course that I did in Wales, that was with Jay. That was fucking ledge. Really good time. And, you know, obviously learning from a guy. I didn't know his credentials at the time. I just booked this course. I ended up hanging out with him. And like I said, or alluded to, if I've not actually come out and outright said it, the guy might be a one of one in terms of his level of experience, which he didn't even fully go into on the Sean Ryan show. I don't know how you managed to do a 6.5 hour podcast and actually not cover some topics. That's fucking bananas, isn't it? Would I fight Tom Aspinall bare knuckle for charity? Yeah, if he was tied up. Are you fucking nuts? Do you know what's mad about Tom Aspinall? He is undisputed hardest man on earth, but doesn't look it. Do you know what I mean? Like when Brock Lesnar was, you know, temporarily UFC champion, he looked like a Jesus fucking Christ. Tom Aspinall does not look that scary, but he's literally the hardest geezer on earth. How mad's that? Raj says, think Paddock can do bits in the States? Any future games you would want to? My wife is big on your football opinions and we support you on your channel. Much love. As in the fan channel or the football team? I don't know what that question refers to, actually. How do I find all my stuff? It's all camo. It's all different camo. Was I still in Dresden when the Cregan thing kicked off? Yeah, I was, yeah. Tom says, Oasis suck, boring and dated. Oh, I'm an edgy boy. Stone Roses are timeless. They're both sensational, mate. Have I read James Holland's Brothers in Arms? No, I don't think I have, actually. I do like James Holland. He's a fucking sensational author. But no, I don't think I've read that one, actually. and add an album just to their B-sides. It's fucking incredible. Just genuinely incredible. Like, am I a fan of the Stone Roses? Yes. Is my wife an Oasis fan? Yes. When's the Howson podcast starting? I've recently been watching a lot of SAS stuff on YouTube, and it's interesting as hell. There's a few guests I'd love to see. We have filmed 3 episodes of the Stephen Howson podcast. I'm really trying to do something different. If you want to know a little bit more about it, then my Patreon will be the spot to get the behind the scenes of that. There is extra content on there that we've filmed already with every guest. 3 podcasts in. 1 more before I go to America, and then the day I go to America, we start to release them, so there will be a lag between getting them done and pushing them out. Then when I come back from America, I'm going to try and do 2 a week again, just to bank them up. And also, we've had 3 cancellations in 2 weeks, so or postponements in 2 weeks. So I am preparing and insulating myself for having that. The Stephen Howson podcast channel will have daily content as of the 20th of July, so not long to go, 10 days. And then hopefully we hit just every single day with clips, full podcast episodes. It should be on Spotify as a full audio. I've still got to set that page up, actually. But the YouTube channel is already there. I believe it's linked on the homepage of this channel. I'm very much looking forward to it. The fact United have only got 1 game a week has really helped this kind of take seed and us get this done. But what I would say is the stories that we've got so far are incredible. You will not expect... It's not going to be football based so far because I want to really separate it from the football stuff that I do. So we've got someone from reality TV, somebody from... the military, friend of mine that was blown up with a grenade in Afghanistan. Sensational story. He talks about suicide and PTSD and coming over all that lot. And then we've got an MMA fighter, which is Brendan. So you will see that all kind of take shape. And, there's going to be a lot coming out on there. I think you'll enjoy it. It's different. Raj says, my football team in the States, would you want games abroad if money wasn't an issue? Yeah, we were meant to be in Dublin next weekend, but it's fell through. Yeah, I would love to go play abroad with us and help build fan base out there. So it's definitely something that I would like us to do. But yeah, it costs a hell of a lot of fucking money. You're talking like 25, 30 grand to take a team somewhere. Is that a Turkish style hat behind me? No, it's my... Three. 1, 2, 3. Is that working? I've got to use my phone. The dog has just knocked the mic out and it's all the way down there under stuff. So hopefully this doesn't sound too crazy. I didn't mute it. The fucking dog did. I might have to just hold my phone like this. Is that okay? Is that okay? Can you hear me now? Yeah, the dog's just screwed me. Apologies. Right, anyway, what was I saying before it got cut? Rio was meant to be at training this week, but his plans changed because I think his missus' flight changed. So that's one of those. Sounds clearer. It would do, wouldn't it? Do I still keep in contact with Ash? Yes, I do. Says Ashley Williams. Red Stag says, currently listening to a biography of Paddy Mayne. Yeah, Paddy's hero, legend. Doesn't really cut it, does it? Tom needs to get in the ring more, establish his legacy, and he'll get respect. I think he's trying, mate. Um, 1-0 Diesel, yep. Have I considered getting my gut microbiome checked? Nope. Am I going to get Rio to run a drill at training? I don't know what he was planning on doing. So there was some talk that he might come out to America for pre-season tour, but I don't know if that's been finalised. He put something on his story like a week and a half ago or something where he'd been out running because he said he got out of breath playing with the kids. And we were talking about that, and then I messaged him saying, "Are you doing pre-season?" And then he said, "Yeah, I'll come up and do a session with you." And I was like, "Huh? What are you on about?" I'm like, "No, I'm on about United. I'm on about America tour. Are you coming?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, might be." I'm like, "Hang on, wait, roll back. What are you on about? You might be coming up here." And he's like, "Oh, I'm in Manchester this week." He's like, "Might do some content with you, or might come up for a..." He's like, "When do you train?" So I told him when we train. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can make that." And then he messaged me saying, "Oh, plans have changed." So it's like, oh, okay. Why is Diesel called Diesel? Because he was a black dog, and the petrol pump for Diesel is black. I've got no further insight into why I called him Diesel other than that. Dax says, "I'd watch Ash and Ronaldo go places together, aquariums, museums, etc. That would be phenomenal, wouldn't it?" How did I deal with dizziness while working out with the weights if I was also dieting? I started eating more. That was it. How did Turkey go? I was hoping that the edit would be finished tomorrow. It might be Monday now. Gibbo and Rio to manage Paddock whilst I'm away. Well, it would be Gibbo. Lavish says, the SP team got back to me on Harry the jerseys. No way to get them tracked. Email again, mate. I can't do this in the middle of a live. If it can't be tracked, it can't be tracked. I don't know enough about the post in Dubai off the top of my head to be able to answer that. What are the main progressions I've seen in myself as a manager of Paddock going into new season compared to my first season? Probably confidence. I'm like over 100 or something games in now. It's been funny because we didn't get anybody from the trial. I wasn't impressed at the trial that we had this year. And normally what we've done from previous seasons is we'll end up bringing in quite a lot of players. And it's a little bit of a false sense of security. You go into training with 25, 26, 28 people, and you think you've got a good squad going into the season, but the lads aren't good enough. So you end up having quite a low bar in the trial because it's like you go shopping, you want to come away with something. But I went into the trial this year and I was like, nah, impress me. And I didn't take anybody from my team from the trial. I was like, nah, there's nothing that good turned up here. The trial's very hit and miss. We have had some good players turn up through the trial, but it is hit and miss. This year we didn't have any. But we have had a couple of lads come down. We trialled 2 fullbacks in a friendly last weekend. One of them was man of the match. One of them was very good. So I was like, yep, sign both of those. They're good. We debuted another 16-year-old centre-half. He's fucking bigger than me. But, 16-year-old centre-half. I thought he was sensational when he came on. I will be playing him again on Saturday. So, other than that, I think details, the things that I notice, the things that I accept, the things that I focus on, the things that I emphasize, I think those things have changed and evolved. Stephen Harris says less bottles get kicked. That might be a Red Bull thing. That might be a Redfall thing. Thriller says, what positions are you looking for? I don't know the situation with Florin. So our goalkeeper, we don't know what's going on with him this year. He went to Spain. He went to trial with Hercules over in Spain. It didn't go to plan for him, but he's considering where to go next, which might not be back to England. So we don't know if we've got our first choice keeper for this season. Our reserve keeper, who we are currently playing, we will be going with him for the time being, but that would probably be the only position of concern. I'm very happy with our forward line. I'm very happy with our midfield. We haven't lost anybody, so apart from the goalkeeper, so not necessarily looking for any positions, really. You want to just strengthen everywhere. When I Paddock back on Twitch again, I didn't want pre-season on Twitch, but first game of the season we'll be back on Twitch. Do I ever get burnout from all the stuff I've got going on constantly? Is there such a thing as too busy? How do I avoid that? My calendar is a fucking patchwork quilt of stuff going on. And if it's in the calendar, I do it. And it's as simple as that. Do I get a burnout? No, because I enjoy what I do. It's a lot, but yeah, I enjoy what I do. Robert says, I've been coaching kids football for 15 years. Kids are getting so big. To be fair, I'm in Australia, currently coaching under 15s. I'm the smallest person there. How do I manage all these things that I'm doing and still be a family man? Again, just calendar it. Are we looking at Danny Hugo to partner Michael O this season? Not necessarily. Tommy's back. Looks trim. We got KO'd. One of those fullbacks that we played at weekend might do a bit as well. Do we not need a number 10? No, we don't. That tubby little fucker's back on Saturday, so... And Claudio's not far as well. Claudio's not far back from fitness as well. Wasn't even a fucking yellow card, that. The guy's been out 6 months. Fucking joke. Would I ever try and get credentials for a post-match at Old Trafford, or is that even possible? I don't think we would get them for... We can get them for Europa League. You can't get them for the Premier League because the credential criteria is so restrictive. But I also wouldn't want it, if that makes sense. Like, what the... doesn't do it for me. Like, we will be at the press conferences on pre-season, and I will probably not ask a single fucking question because they generally, one, don't come to us, and two, I get more out of... We can speak to some of the players around training rather than doing it in a press conference setting, and we get more out of them then. You can actually have a chat. If you ask a question in a press conference, they answer that question, and sometimes they don't even answer that question. They answer whatever they wanted to answer in the first place, and then they move on to the next thing. So you don't really get a follow-up on it. It's not a conversation, so you don't really learn anything. Have I read any of Chris Ryan's books? Only the one I got away. What's my opinion on the video of the officers getting assaulted in the airport? Play with feathers, you get your arse tickled. I can't believe that the geezer's denying assaulting the police officers. From the video I've seen, that is mental. State of Vegas says, watch the whole J. Cal interview. What a top bloke. Can't believe him. Can't believe how the powers have treated him and his teammates. Needs more awareness. Watch the whole 6.5 hours. The amount of people that I've had message me saying, I watched the whole 6 hours. It's nuts, innit? When Jay told me he'd done 6.5 hours, I was like, fucking hell. Jay can do some talking. So while we were filming in London, I had 13 questions. Now, I'm a patron of GBRS, so this is like, I practice what I preach on this shit. Like, I am a patron of certain channels, and GBRS is one of those things. I said, I'll ask a lot of questions. So I wrote some questions down. They asked on GBRS's Patreon, questions for Jay and DJ. And I come up with some questions that I thought, because all the questions are the same. Like, a lot of the questions that they get are always the fucking same. And I was like, I come up with some pretty good questions, I thought. One of the questions that, and I didn't ask I asked one question out of the 13, and you'll understand why. If you've seen Jay's interview with Sean Ryan show, you will understand why I asked one fucking question out of the 13 that I had. So as I was what's the word I was looking for? The one question I asked, because I kind of knew the broad strokes of the story, but not the full detail of the story, was how Jay and DJ first ever met. So I said, tell us how you met. DJ goes like this. Like, to Jay, you answer. And then Jay spoke for 22 fucking minutes without taking a breath. And then they went back and forth for another 10 minutes. And I'm looking at my questions, and I'm like, how the fuck do I ask any more of these questions? Like, none of these make sense. So I just went, fucking cut. Just fucking post that as a video. Tyler says, just became an owner of Paddock. Fantastic. Welcome to the club. There is some stuff to be voting on very soon. I'll put that out very soon. Enraged says, Jake episode was mint. Looking forward to the content coming to your channel. With the level of detail he went into regarding ops he went on, is he now persona non grata? Not that I'm aware of, but I think he thinks it might be coming, because there are obviously other regiment blokes that have become non grata due to talking. Any experience dealing with an inguinal sports hernia? Ooh, no, doesn't sound fucking good though, brother. Go to a physio. Don't ask dickheads wearing fucking floppy hats on YouTube. Ask a physio. How much would I have laughed if someone had said 10 years ago, we'll finish 15th and trying to be signed Calvert-Lewin? Can we focus on some other stuff? Can we talk about Oasis again? Fucking hell. Eric Red says, Dublin city centre is a shithole. Best off staying close to the stadium. There's a few pubs in Drumcondra are decent. Kennedy's on Lower Drumcondra Road will be bouncing. 10-minute walk to the gig. That's what we need. I need, like, what's the move? I think me and Janine land at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously go drop off the bags at a hotel, don the bucket hats and parkers, and fucking get ourselves over to Croke. How far away from Croke is the city centre? I am staying in... I can't go on my phone, can I, while it's being my microphone. Let me just see where I am. What area, without blowing myself up. Where is it? Bookings. Upcoming 17th. Where are we? I am staying in... Fuck's sake. Where is it? I am staying in the Key. Basically... Oh shit, where's that? Is that it? Point Village? Don't know what that means. DV says, with the lack of signings and failure to clear out the unwanted players, other teams making progress, are we already heading towards a season write-off? No. Not necessarily. Stephen House says, DCL, 20 league goals next season, mark my words. What, in League One? No. About 5 minutes in a taxi. O'Connell Street, where's that? Is that where I am? I am near North Wall Quay. Where's Croke from there? Oh, I can see it. Yeah, so I'm on the north side of the river. So I'm not far. Yeah. Where are we walking up here? Oh, there actually isn't a road. East Wall. Walk down East Wall. East Wall Road. Follow that round. Scott says, all right, started the Stairmaster 6 weeks ago, 2,000 steps in 30 minutes, and I've lost a stone. Long way to go, but it's working. Doesn't it work? Honestly, when Janine and me argued for so long, she's like, just go and do the Stairmaster. I'm like, Stairmaster, it's what chicks do. I'm not doing a fucking Stairmaster. You mad? Did it, couldn't do 15 minutes first time. 13 minutes, ended me. And then I was like, right, I'm not fucking losing to that. We can go back the next day and see what's going on. Steven says it'd be quicker to walk. Yeah, we walk. When there's a gig or a concert or a football match on or something like that, if you're a mile away, just fucking walk in it. CLJ says, Barcelona continues to keep the Marcus Rashford deal open. New contacts expected in the coming days. Hansi Flick's given the green light. That might help us sign someone. Are we on Rival Watch because United have gone MIA? Correct. State of Vegas has watched the whole DJ Shipley interview on the Sean Ryan. Just been on holiday, sat on a sunbed watching them. Mad stories. It was mad hanging out with DJ as a fan, if you like. Gone from, watching him on YouTube to doing fucking bicep curls in the gym together at fucking 6 a.m. was a bit of a mad one. Eric says, won't walk from that hotel. Why? Super Angry Steve says, yeah, East Wall and through Fairview brings you out the back of Croker. That'll be the move. How excited am I to have a player called Brian? Will be better than the treble. Alex says, 10 Hag should face prison time for letting Alvaro go. He's just gone Real Madrid, instantly a better option than Shaw. This is the shit show we find ourselves in, and it's going to take a long old time. Jer says, I left Dublin in Nashville now. Dublin has become awful. Nashville sounds like the best gaff for a night out on earth. Am I going Saturday or Sunday? I am on Sunday. Sunday. Stephen Howard says, as CEO of the club, should you not think you should be overruling Walk on banning me from being a matchday DJ? Claire is operations director, and therefore that falls under her remit. If she tries to tell me who to pick, she'll get punted. But if I try and tell her who should be the matchday DJ, she'll kick me in the dick. So that's what you call equality and overlapping responsibilities. So no. Nashville prepared for the... I'm not going to Nashville. I do want to go to Nashville. Ginny wants to go to Nashville. I'm sure we'll go to Nashville at some point. It's not on the plan for now, though. Why don't we look at some of the South American teams for youth? I think we have been looking, haven't we? I mean, we literally just signed Diego Leon like this week. We've clearly been looking. Mikhail says, if you ask 10 United fans to list our worst decisions in the last decade, they'd all say different things, so many mistakes. Yeah, you'd struggle to fit it into 10, wouldn't you? There's been so many things that have been absolute fucking clangers. Eric says, the best bet is jumping a taxi, head to Kennedy's, only a quick walk from there. City centre walk from East Wall isn't a pleasant trek. Dublin has fallen off a cliff last few years. Be right. It's fucking August, the sun will be out, it'll be right. CLJ says country music. I was gutted I didn't go to Zach Bryan in Hyde Park last week, or was it the week before? That looked fucking legendary, didn't it? Mackenzie says went Nashville for a corporate work thing on a night out, and Kid Rock turns up at a bar and started playing. What's my supermarket of choice? I have a Marks and Spencer's, on my street, and I probably go Tesco more than anything, and for no other reason than I like the Cajun scallops. Lynch says West Ham fans are going to be mad when they see the Kudus announcement video. Ooh, why? What's happened? Jer says, let me know when you get to Nashville. I don't think it's going to happen next year. I mean, I'll be in America for the World Cup. Fingers crossed. I don't think we'll be going back to America unless it's a fucking mega 12-month. I think it'll probably have to be fucking Cornwall or Wales or something for a family holiday. We want to go with Blake somewhere for summer holiday next year after I get back from the World Cup. I don't know where that's going to be. Thoughts on Evan Ferguson? Could I see him doing a job at United? I don't know what happened to him because he fell off in a madness. When is pre-season starting again? For United, they travel out. I travel out on a Monday. I'm going to Alabama for a few days first to speak at a conference. Oh, and by the way, no one is more surprised than I am. See, Linda says, love M&S. And Gurpy says, M&S didn't know you were a Tory. See, these are the things. The top and bottom of it is, I fucking like M&S. I'm just not going to say it out loud. But I do go Tesco a lot. And I probably eat most of the stuff at Tesco, but get off your tits on picky bits at M&S, can't you? Joe says, Nashville's great, close to lots of state parks. Some best of many, so many things out here. How long did it take Ethan James to stop flinching and jumping out of his skin every time he spoke to him? He still does. Kudus looks into the camera and says, I only want his Spurs. Does he now? Oh, shit. The Gravediggers is known for having the best pint in Dublin if you want to try it out. All right, I'm going to make a note of that. David says, finally binged Mobland. Loved it. How fucking good is it? When is pre-season starting again? Yeah, so United go on the 22nd, I think. Like I said, I go to Alabama and then I meet the boys in New York on... I think I get to New York on midnight Thursday night, I think. The lads get there Wednesday, I think. Wednesday morning. James says, Stretford Paddock bucket hats. We've got to get a kit sorted out for this year. Once the kit's sorted out, and you might have noticed the kit's not been fucking launched yet. Once we get the kit launched, we will do bucket hats, I think, this year. I mean, these are pretty cool, aren't they? We didn't do many of them, but they flew out, the ones that we did. Smart them. Jeremy says, M&S own brand tortilla chips are better than Doritos. There is, I can't remember what flavour it is, but there is some fucking crips that they do that are out of this fucking world. Janine says there's already a bucket hat on the site. All right, ignore me. Go and get your bucket hat. What time are we on? Oh, gone 10. Right, 5 o'clock coming fucking early, boys and girls. So I'm getting the flock out of here. Cheers for hanging out. Make sure to go and check out Stephen Howson podcast channel if you're interested in what's coming on there. Like I said, we did 2 brilliant podcasts today. Dave, who you know about, and the other one, which we haven't announced yet. Very happy with both of them, actually. Dave's story is fucking sensational. It was 2 hours, and I think it was 2 hours of absolute gold. So make sure you check those out when they come. Otherwise, if you want to get behind the scenes, Patreon will be absolutely popping off. It's been rebranded. It's now known as the Inner Circle on Patreon. So if you want to come and get involved with that, support the channel, there's going to be some extra content on there. Me and Amy are doing a full debrief. Amy's the new podcast producer. Me and Amy are doing a hot debrief as soon as each. And by the way, it was fucking hot today. 5 hours straight I did in there today. So if you want to come and find out what's going on with that, how we think about it, see how we are breaking down each of those podcasts and get a little bit behind the scenes like that, check out the Patreon. Link for that will be in the description. And yeah, it'll soon be here. We'll soon be launching it. I'm very excited about it. Like I said, United being shit and not playing midweek has really given us a gap in the calendar to be able to get it filmed. So we're kicking it off and seeing how it gets in. But as always, take it easy. I'm back doing transfer review tomorrow. Should I go in sunglasses and a parka in honour of Oasis getting back together? Because I am debating it, but it's 31 degrees in Manchester tomorrow. And I don't know if I want to wear a fucking parka and sunglasses. Because some people have got no sense of humour, have they? Anyways, take it easy. Night-night. Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it,
then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.